The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
When was the last time you had really good Texas-style barbecue? Eric's Family Barbecue, the way it's supposed to taste. Always delicious, never rushed, and prepared to perfection. Eric's Family Barbecue uses only 100% fresh meat, slowly smoked over mesquite wood until it's juicy and delicious. We all know their brisket is the best, but have you tried their pulled pork ribs, or rib tips? Amazing, and their sides are all house-made. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip. You won't be sorry. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more information.
Holmberg's Morning Sickness.
Hear the words you say sometimes? I mean, who talks like that?
98 KUPD.
Good morning, everybody. Hello there. Welcome to Tuesday. It's 5:45. This is the Morning Sickness. My name's John Holmberg. There's Brady Bogan, Brett Festley, Big Dick Toledo, rounding it out, ready to go for another day here in paradise. And we say paradise because it is. If you watched Monday Night Football last night, the pregame was just wind in a microphone and Susie Colbert just freezing to death. It was nuts. It was that Arctic misery, that
the bite,
the buffalo blech. It just looks like, why in the world would anyone want to try and live there when this exists? And good, I'm glad they do, because I don't want a bunch of people from Buffalo hanging around here. But still, it doesn't add up to me that there are always those people, I need seasons. I don't need that crap. I need like a taste of a season. I don't need to live in that awful nonsense.
Enjoy that 5-month-long season.
Yeah, exactly. And then it goes into a partial spring that's mostly rain, and then summer's all bugs, some fall, but then it gets crisp and cold real fast. That wind is not at Buffalo. Ugh. It's not. People from there. And the reason if you're from Buffalo right now and you're hearing me say that and you defend Buffalo, it's like you got to remember why you're here. And it usually isn't a job. It usually is like, I got to get out of this dump. And then you end up missing family and stuff. Go back for the holidays. You get a taste of Buffalo, but I don't know how anybody lives there. That was awful to watch. The game itself was amazing. The Patriots won with 3 pass attempts total. I don't know if you guys watched any of it. It was amazing. 3 passes, and they won the game. And that whipping ice, the ground was ice, and everything looked. It reminded me when I was a little kid in Indiana. You bundle up like a Christmas Story when you were a little guy. Your mom would put all those clothes on you, and you never lived in that, did you? Brett never had to.
When I was real young, I did, and then I went back a few times. But
you never had the full like starfish wrap clothes thing.
Oh,
You've never lived through.
You've never lived through
before.
I was
not
there
Randy
for
from A Christmas Story. Now
visit of '76. I was Randy every day.
Ugh,
and
miserable.
And every single day I pissed in the suit. Every day because I was 4. And there's nothing to do but be cold and goof around. So I was 4 years old, and every day it's freezing cold outside. You're trying to play with your friends in this giant snowsuit thing. Your arms don't work right. I had scarves all over my face, and that was freezing because you're spitting in it, and then the spit would freeze, and your face would get all cold, and I'd just pee.
That'd warm you up a little bit.
For 2 seconds, and then now you're wet.
That's worse.
And then then your pee freezes, and I don't know. I spent most of the summer or winter of 1976 with a massive rash around my junk because I would just pee and still play in it.
Brutal.
And it would just freeze your balls and make this off. It was terrifying. I don't think of snow as fun ever. Like as
much as that 76 came through in Columbus, it was pretty snow days.
Oh, I was cool yet.
I was
there the whole time. I wasn't even in school, so I didn't miss it. I didn't go to school. I just go outside all bundled up and roll around in the snow and piss myself and come back in crying. Oh,
we had
terrible.
School one time. They would do it at the teacher's house.
All right.
Yep, that's where we were at Connie Trapp's house. Our school teacher, she was 6th grade, and that's where we found the Joy of Sex book in her.
Still haven't read it.
Started looking at pictures.
But you should crack one of those books. That's not a bad book for you. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Learn a couple of things off of that.
I do.
It's
I got to get back to study.
That. I wonder if she's still alive, taking the pipe.
The original Mary Kay Letourneau.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you kids come to my house and read about love making?
She had that and Zeppelin's album. We're like, oh, she's a rocker.
What's even better is she let you go through. She let you again, no questions from Brady, but I know exactly what happened here. You were allowed to rummage through her shelves and her stuff. She was molesting the other kids who were more attractive.
I wish that was the case, but John Royer is the one who found the book.
Right, because he was the other ugly kid.
Yeah,
you guys were wandering around the house, not at school. And where's Mrs. Royer or whatever her name is?
Connie Trapp?
Connie Trapp. Connie Trapp was in there giving her honey hole up to another sixth grader. She was Mary Kay Letourneau.
Yeah.
Who doesn't ask these questions? Why were you allowed to go through her books and her albums?
We weren't.
You kids go over there. I'll be right back.
But we were in her living room,
right,
with a classroom, and you kind of look around.
Sure.
She's like, all right.
How old was Connie Trapp?
She was young.
Yeah.
How'd she look?
She had, she was nothing to write home about.
That's why she's going for the sixth graders.
Not Brady's cup of tea. So she's banging sixth graders in her house for Christmas.
She had kind of like the Bob Ross fro hair, kind of. That was big in the 70s.
So she got the fist bump then.
That's right. She didn't get the hugs.
Yeah, I don't hug.
You wouldn't have hugged her. You just rummaged through her things while she was busy with the other students.
What happened to the other kids? Seems like we're the only ones in her record room. Anyway, she's got Zep. That's awesome.
Yeah, the only...
Hey, that's the start of an album or something in that room. We should go in there. Miss Trapp says we're not allowed.
It's the beginning of the Immigrant
Yeah,
song.
you're not allowed. Yeah.
Oh, God, sixth graders are hot. Except you and you. Go work for my albums. You got it, Mrs. Trapp.
Yeah, who allows that? I wouldn't have been
1
allowed.
week.
Man, a teacher's room, that wouldn't have happened. I don't think my parents would have allowed that. You're not going over their house. Take the week off.
That just doesn't happen now for sure.
No way. It's like an old schoolhouse or something. That's weird. Yeah, there's something bad happened there. At one of them, did all the teachers do it?
Yeah.
Every teacher in your school allowed kids in their house. There wasn't one objector. We can't even get something straight today. And back then, every teacher said, absolutely bring the kids in.
Yeah.
I'd quit.
I wouldn't have shown kids where I live.
No.
Let alone let them in. Are you crazy? Did you know where any teachers lived on purpose? Like I knew one accidentally.
And
Man,
I wonder if
that's
it's
amazing.
because, like, if the teachers that lived in UA, they allowed them to go over there, and then other ones they wouldn't.
The whole staff agreed to have the kids come over. That can't be right. There's no way. There had to be one wise teacher.
I'll have to ask my mom because it was 1 week, and
Right.
maybe
I would
that
venture
was
to guess that your mom was in on the, I'm just going to dump my kid off at whichever teacher will take him.
Oh, yeah, she liked doing that.
And then
She's got things to do.
Can you imagine every single teacher on board that? No way. They had husbands. Their husbands would have been like, you're not bringing them here. No
Well, they are working.
way. Yeah, well, right.
They're
But that's what
not
I'm
in the
saying.
house.
Not all the time. But you still don't want kids knowing where you
I
live.
know.
There's no way. You got to ask more questions. Be inquisitive. You just assumed the entire school was rose-colored like you, and every teacher said thumbs up to kids coming over. Miserable. Didn't happen.
Then why only our classroom?
It probably was just some agreement that only your room went because all your parents agreed. Ugh, get them out. Whatever. If she's willing to do it, they probably did it. But not every teacher was on there. No way. You think about your kid's school right now and imagine trying to gather the teachers up and go, we'll just have class at your house.
I'm calling Bunny.
Why don't you ever ask questions about your history? Why am I the one that's more curious about your life than you? This is crazy. And plus, you got fingered that day. You don't even know it. It's coming back. Somebody did. Bad things happened that day. I guarantee you.
Literally
one day
something odd happened in that house.
Walked home from school, and we were going along the creek, along Scioto Country Club, and I broke through the up to my waist.
That day?
Yeah.
For Mrs. Trapp's house?
We were going to Walt Lunsman's. Yeah. We were going over to
You're
play
coming
after
back
school.
from Mrs. Trapp's place.
Yeah.
Where school was out of the question, but kids could walk on creeks.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, they did that because what happened was there's a snow day.
Sure.
And then what happened during the snow day in the school, some pipes froze.
Sure. Oh, so the
had to shut
school
it
blew
down
up.
for a week.
Okay. Not really. The teachers would just open their doors for cookies and treats, and then you kids could run all over, and then you fell in the ice.
Yeah.
And luckily that washed away a lot of evidence.
Fell through the ice, went over to Walt Lunsman's house, and there was our science teacher, Wally Neiswanger, waiting with a dry pair of pants.
That's nice. Oh, that's very
That's
nice.
not true.
No. Because he always had a dry pair of pants.
Yeah, he always.
Yeah, you need to ask more questions. This doesn't add up.
Nice Wonger?
Yeah.
Really nice Wonger.
That's a real name?
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah. That's how Pollyanna the whole thing was. The funny guy was Wally Nicewonger. But, Brady, you need to ask more questions.
The UA sounds like a fairy tale.
Well, because that's the way he presents it. But deep down, it's a seedy, coke-riddled disaster.
Get out.
Oh, my God. It was just completely insane.
Everything was perfect. Not a single.
It's unbelievable, Brett.
Not a bad guy.
You haven't heard the story of his neighbors. The guy used to beat off in the upstairs window to picnics that Brady's family was having.
Bob Ray?
To the point where Brady's mom had to go over and say, hey, enough with the standing naked in the windows. And the neighbors on the other side moved away because the guy wouldn't stop doing it to their daughter. And they didn't call the police or anything. They just asked him to stop it. And he did it.
He was on a 2-strike program. It happened twice.
Once is enough for me. Once is enough where the dude is going to jail. You beat off to one of my picnics. You beat off one time to my picnics. Once. And then the neighbors on the other side moved because their teen daughters were like, he's up there again.
I don't know about that. I remember telling you that, but now I don't know.
It was not nice. That's crazy.
Jesus.
Bob Ray was naked in the window, and your mom and a group of people had to go over and go, Bob, come on, man.
Knock it off.
Knock it off. This is like 8 times
You're
now.
getting
Bob.
out of the shower and walking on the second floor window.
Naked, standing there for an extended period of time.
Kathy Burnham does not like you.
Multiple times. Yeah, it's a fairy tale from hell. Yeah, you got to get deeper into this whole. Because I had snow days, and never once did Mrs. Corns, Mrs. Stewart, anybody go, well, everybody pop over to my place. All these kids can come over here. It'll be great. And by the way, every teacher at Lake Prairie Elementary School is in on it. We love that you know where we live. No teacher ever would show me where they lived, ever. They know better.
It's like Mr. Rogers and waiting for the trolley to go through. They learn to make believe.
But the trolley has a big dildo
weird.
hanging off the back of it that nobody talks. Yeah, that's an insane day. And any teacher that's willing to do that is willing to touch peepees.
She was a go-getter.
I'm sure she
I
was.
bet she went and got herself a 12-year-old. I guarantee
She was
you
a
that.
single mom.
Mm-hmm. I know she was. Because you know why? Her husband graduated the 8th grade and had to move with his family. So she probably...
I got to go on the road, babe. I'm in a band.
Single mom because she didn't like to talk about it and used to get buried back in those days that when you had a child with an underage boy or something like that, nobody said anything. You just raised it like it was your own, and the kid was never mentioned again.
Oh, I got more questions.
You should have at least one. That's not normal, Brady. Brady, That's Not Normal is the name of Brady's new biography.
My Life in the UA. Brady, That's Not Normal. Co-written by John Holmberg.
It's just strange. It makes me uncomfortable talking about it. Would you let Kirby go to her teacher's house?
Yeah.
You would?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding, man. I don't know.
What the hell's wrong?
Yeah, that's not right.
I'm
There's
a guy and
boundaries.
I don't like kids, but I
Yeah.
still wouldn't let my kid go there.
It's got to be like boundaries and stuff.
I mean, not like she said, oh, would you come over solo or something
At
like
all.
that? But like if the class was over there and she was holding class at her
But
house,
why would she hold class at her house? That seems weird. Anyway. It's like that
pipes
one
froze over in school and they still wanted to continue.
Either way, if the pipes froze over at Gilbert, pretty slim chance. But let's say they burst, and she wants to have class at her house. Ugh, something ain't right there. That's grooming.
Well-
to me, that's grooming. Now you know where I live, so whenever you have homework problems, you can come over. I don't trust any of that.
Not every one of them, because now she has, 4 or 5 different teachers.
Sure, but one. But that's
Yeah.
a dumb teacher to invite because that's just an invitation to egging and vandalism. I know if I knew where teachers lived, that's all we'd have thought about.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys never thought of that. Somebody egged.
No, there's
Plenty of
some
egging.
times.
She got egged a lot for opening
no,
her doors.
Mrs. Trapp didn't, but that was 6th grade,
Yeah.
so it's right on the bubble.
Laterno time. 12, 13, that one kid with all the pubes. I don't know if you had pubes yet, but the kids with pubes were getting into Mrs. Trapp.
I wasn't there yet.
Mrs. Honey Trapp. Well, thanks for joining us, Brady. Your stories are fascinating every time. All I did was piss myself when it snowed. Brady was over at his teacher's house getting warmed up with some Led Zeppelin and the joy of sex.
What's this book about?
Why don't you turn the pages and tell me?
Ooh, these guys are wrestling.
Mm-hmm. You like wrestling?
I do.
Why don't you go wrestle your friend over there while I go into the bedroom with the cuter, taller kids?
Okay.
I remember we smoked a lot of weed, too.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there's no way all the teachers were in. Call your mom and ask. The whole school. I'd have quit my job. There isn't a teacher I know that'd be like, oh, yeah, you kids come wreck my place.
They might have give you an option at Barrington.
The whole
saying
class showed up? I bet that's not true either. It was like 12,
whoever
like
could
10 or
make
11 of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't the whole class. That was the danger.
The ones that could make it. The ones that moms would drop them off.
Right, moms didn't want them at the house. Oh, God. This school's closed for how long? And not for a week. We're going to drop you off at this lady's house. Can you imagine with the Zoom stuff that was going on and people were getting sick of their kids at the house, if you just dumped your kids off at some teacher's place over the pandemic, there would have been like insurrections and riots and all sorts of stuff going on. People storming capitals and all sorts. There's no way anybody wants their kids at a teacher's house. I know teachers. They hate the kids. Toledo's chick's a teacher.
Oh, yeah.
You imagine going to Toledo, like Toledo's got 28 kids in his house sitting there learning. It's a teacher's salary. They're not big enough.
Toledo would come home and some kind of wood prod broken.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Jacking around.
Toledo gets home at like 1. There's still kids hanging around the house. No dad's going to put up with that. Coming home and going, wait a minute, what the hell's going on?
Well, we decided to have school here.
No. Get these people out of my house right now. Everybody goes home.
But the class doesn't end till 3.
No, it ends right. I'm the principal now.
It's band practice.
Yeah, you got the extracurriculars in your backyard. Football teams on the front. What a nightmare, Brady. What a nightmare. All those memories of Buffalo snow last night, all I had was a rash on my pee-pee. Brady's in there getting raped and watching kids lose their virginity at some teacher's house.
It was great.
Did she light candles and make a big thing of it?
No.
What classes?
During the
just
day,
regular
but she
school?
probably had candles.
Oh, yeah, she was one of those.
Yeah, for sure. Incense.
Man, I want to call this
So
lady
strange.
so bad. Just be like, hey, what the were you thinking?
I just wanted to educate the children in my bed.
You don't show kids your house. That's a dumb teacher. Anyway, she's dead, probably.
Not sure, but
It's probably 50 years ago, 45 years ago, right?
she's probably, in her
90s.
late 60s.
Really?
She's pretty young.
She's like 20-something? Early
Yeah,
20s? No
she's-
kidding.
Yeah.
So her house sucked. And she already had a kid?
It was a townhouse.
Oh, what a whore.
Man, what a tramp. I thought the same thing.
Guys, come over and just pile into this area and make it warm.
Bunch of snowbound kids hanging out. Oh, man, that's brutal. You think of it as nice. Everybody else in the world goes, uh-oh, fingerings. That's lovely, everybody. On the same, it's kind of the unwoke to woke version. I saw this story yesterday. I think this is fantastic. And congratulations, I'll say Mexicans, Chicanos, Chicanas, Españolers. 90% of, I don't know what to call you.
Latinx?
No, that's the fun part. Latinos, Latinas. 90% say, we don't want to be called Latinx. 2% of Latinx people identify as such. 2% of the ones that they've done like 15 different. It was a big survey, and like almost all of them are like, we never asked for this. Who told you that? It's the woke wild left. It made up a name for them to be more inclusive to the gender non-specific name of Latinx, and like every person from that culture is like, absolutely not. Go yourself. Stop it. In the study, and they were shocked to find out that the majority of them don't mind being a man or a woman at all. Like, it's pretty nice.
Wow.
It's like, they were shocked to find out in their study that the majority of Latino men kind of like being a guy, and the majority of Latino women really aren't offended when you say you're a woman. Like 90%. In fact, it was 89.7%. So of all of that, the 2% that say they identify with it, and then there's like 6 or 7% that are like, it's stupid, but I don't care. But 90% were like, no, I'm a man, I'm a Latino. You want to call me that? That's fine. Hispanic was okay as well. There was a couple others that went with Chicano. They're like, meh. Not all of them are going to that. But, yeah, Latinx isn't a thing at all. And yet, white people like us, idiots, are the ones who are acting like it's a big deal if you slip up. The news, Latinx. No one likes it. No one likes it. So it's time we started the movement of going, the knock it off movement needs to begin today. The Pearl Harbor words, we need to bomb out the stupid words and get rid of this Latinx thing. If they don't even want it, if they didn't invent it, then they weren't ever mad in the first place. If there's like 6 total transgender Mexicans, they can deal with being called the Latino or Latina. That's it. When I was a little kid, I had long hair, and my dad used to get upset because his friends would, is this your daughter? Is that your daughter? Because I was skinny and little. And my dad would be like, ah. He was the one bothered by it. I'm like, nah, I'm a guy. I'd turn around like, I'm a boy. I just got long hair. We're cutting that hair when we get home. Okay, fine. That's the thing for you. But you get over that pretty quick. If you're so fragile that Brady, I said, hey, ma'am, I'm a boy. We've been teasing you for years. If you're that fragile that it's your suicide's impending, it's happening because somebody confused your gender, which, by the way, you're also known as gender confused. How are we supposed to know if you're not sure? Latinx.
My buddy's a Mexican. I asked him about that. I don't even know what the hell that is. So I had to explain it to him, and he's like, "What is that?" I'm not
came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it was invented by, they say, even by a liberal. It was a liberal left news outlet.
Is it maybe 3 years old?
I don't know, but he asked me who made it up. I said, I don't know, some whitey.
It's a cracker. Yeah. It's an absolute cracker. And I guarantee it's a cracker lady.
Oh yeah.
Who just
Well, I think if they have it,
because the argument was if we start getting rid of he and she and went to they and that and thems, somebody rightfully immediately, I think I said it too, I'm like, what happens to the Spanish language, which is all gender specific? Like, remember, the A and the O.
T-O.
Yeah, well, beyond that, like, stuff. I don't even know what a telefono. It's like it's male. Like, remember when you learned in Spanish and it confused the hell out of me?
Yeah, some would have L.
Some are men. Well, that's but some are men, some are women. It's Latino as O and A. A lot of things have like an A or an O at the end of them. You make, the feminine and the masculine. And you don't have to do it by who's using it. It is just what it is. That's how you didn't take a Spanish class. You're looking at me very confused.
No,
but the words were.
I always thought L and
there's
law.
L and law, but
That's
they don't
what I
have
meant.
not necessarily for that O and A at the end of the word.
I always thought L was more of a masculine thing.
If you do like El Matador, but that's for a man.
Right.
So you wouldn't say La Matador. That's like Mrs. or Mr.
Now you probably can.
It's like Mr. or Mrs. Well, you could if you wanted to, but you'd come off like an idiot saying La Telefono because it's like a male phone and a La is before, but it would be somebody's name, Miss Telefono. But yeah, so somebody said, what happens to the Spanish language? They're like, oh, we'll just go with X's instead. And the Spanish and Mexicans are like, no, what are you doing? So I hand it to you, people of Brown.
Yeah. Leave it the way it is.
Well done, people of the Brown. That's exactly right. Leave it alone. 90% fired back and said, no.
They won't.
But Whitey's going to keep going.
Oh, yeah.
We know Whitey. Whitey feels right. Whitey's the reason the Redskins had to change their name. They talked the Indian people into it. They talked the Indians never cared. They were like,
And the Cleveland Indians.
And the Cleveland Indians. That team is named after the very first Native American player who said it would be an honor to name this team the Indians. If you look into the history of why they're called the Indians, it's because the very first Native American baseball player played there and said that in honor of me, the team has been named the Indians at my request. And they're like, it's offensive to all Indians. Like, well, the dude did it.
But I think there were a couple of tribes that didn't like the redskin part.
Oh, yeah. But they got talked into it by Whitey. There were a couple
because the other way around, you didn't really hear too many when it was just, in general, Indians. When they, got to the mascot part, maybe that changes.
Right. When you start doing, like, blackface mascots and things like Chief Wahoo was a little bit like, hey, knock it off with the hoo-hoo-hoos. And don't put a white guy in there acting like an Indian. He doesn't know what he's doing. Because it got, to where we were stepping on their rituals. That's when they were like, draw the line there. The name was fine. Most Indians I know are Redskins fans. Like, they love
There are a lot.
There's tons of them. And it makes me laugh that this whole, but it was Whitey that did that. Yeah, the political correct world is just lighting itself on fire, and I, for one, couldn't be happier. Yesterday I saw a story about how in San Francisco, this restaurant, and the fight back is happening. And I got to say, Chappelle has something to do with it. And people finally stepping up going, I'm not dealing with it anymore.
Don't care.
People have finally said, I'm just not dealing with it anymore. Yeah, San Francisco, a restaurant is getting destroyed. And the reason why is because they put out a post after they asked 3 police officers to leave. They put this post out and said, Friday, December 3rd, 3 armed and uniformed San Francisco police officers came in to dine at Hilda and Jesse. After seeing them, our staff was uncomfortable with their presence and asked them to leave due to their multiple weapons. At Hilda and Jesse, the restaurant is a safe space. The presence of officers and weapons in a restaurant made us feel uncomfortable. We respect the police department and are grateful for the work they do. We welcome them into the restaurant when they're off duty, out of uniform, and without weapons. And then they come up with this thing, which was hilarious. They say that they're where was the phrase? It's so good. And people hate this stuff, meaning me. Oh, this is all new. They're safe for queer and BIPOC.
BIPOC?
What's BIPOC?
Discuss. Figure out BIPOC.
BIPOC.
Bisexual.
Vaccinated.
Talk amongst each other if you feel like. If you have to, work as a team.
Oh,
got it.
Queer.
people of color.
Very
Or,
close, Brady.
POC. Person of color.
You got the person of color right. He's on that. Let's figure out the bi part.
So,
Bisexual color?
Why would they? No, see, that's Brady. Just being super specific
I'm
to one
using the bi.
maybe
I'll help.
a person of color that relates to both multiple colors.
Now, this seems a bit redundant if you ask me what BIPOC stands for. It's a new one for me. BIPOC is short for Black, Indigenous, and People of Color. Aren't Black and Indigenous also POC?
I would think so.
Throw them in there. But
anymore, I don't know.
But they have to be comfortable with BIPOC. So BIPOC's a new thing San Francisco throws out. Well, within minutes of this happening, and everybody thinks San Francisco is all one way, this restaurant online flamed, destroyed immediately. And then when they screamed out like, we're doing all the right things, aren't we wonderful, patting themselves on the back, and realized they were wrong, retreat immediately and start saying, oh, no, we didn't do that. Didn't happen. It wasn't it didn't, like, you're the ones who told us it happened.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have known if it wasn't for you. We're grateful for our members of the force and keep us safe during these challenging times. We hope this is a teachable moment for us. Repair to continue to build bridges, because they realized our business is going to, we normals won one in San Francisco. The restaurant said, oh, no, they're allowed. Cops can come in with their guns anytime they want. We're sorry. We tried to be overwoke and invented BIPOC, whatever the hell that is.
I hope people boycott that place.
And
now.
they did. Thousands of online, like, you're an idiot, this is stupid, got to get off the cops' backs. Backfired in a huge way. So I'm liking the trend going into 2022 where people have finally kind of started to say, you know what, go yourself.
Yeah.
But that lady that was on our Facebook about, like,
I'm not easily offended, but I didn't like that comedy show.
she got hit pretty good. And rightfully so. You step up onto the podium and start telling everybody they're wrong. You know, you can expect a stoning, at least a digital one. Yeah. And I love that it happened. So I'm starting, for the very first time, we're starting to see the political correct thing turn on its ear. It's turning itself over. And I think it's because normal liberal left people, like Bill Maher and a couple others, are kind of like, what's the end game here? To get everybody? Because you're eating your own. You're going after Chappelle?
Yeah.
You're going after, like, entertainment and comedy. That's who's been supporting you this entire time. And then the police is an argument for, you know, like Jesse Smollett used it in his trial yesterday, that why didn't you call the police after your incident? He goes, because I'm a man. I'm a black American, and I don't trust them. You're the one lying.
Interesting defense, though, on the other part of it.
That he's been boning that one
They just made
Nigerian.
out. And
well,
he
they
gave
jerked off together.
$3,500 for a supplement that was
pretty sweet,
illegal, but he could get it on the down
low. They did coke. They smoked.
He had
out.
the coke. The other guy had the coke. Jesse had.
But they did drug into a gay bar. They made out. They jerked off in front of each other. And then the other brother is evidently a homophobic, even though he's been in, like, all the gay parties and stuff. Jesse's whole thing is, but he doesn't trust the cops, even though he's the one who's been caught, like, lying every stretch of the way, and is trying to lie his way through this thing. He's like, the cops are, because you can't trust them.
Didn't he call the cops?
No.
Originally?
No, somebody else. Well, he was talked into it. Right off the bat, he did not. Because he was making up a story. You don't call the police for that. You call the TMZ and you call the media first, which is what he did. He posted it online. He kept the noose on when the police did arrive.
And the money, you know, had the excuse for that. Oh, that was for buying this supplement. But then somehow the one brother was upset that he made out with Jesse. Will you beat us up?
The problem is this is in Chicago.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's probably going to walk.
Oh, he's walking. He's
and
not,
the motivation behind the other guy being involved is Jesse. He was doing it. The guys were doing it because they were thanking him for getting a small part.
Yeah,
in one of them.
on the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a big thank you. We'll kick your ass for that.
Yeah,
That's nice.
We'll set this thing.
Yeah. I've got like 3,000 emails like right in a row and text trying to guess what BIPOC is. We told you already. BIPOC. Black Indigenous Person of Color, which no one wants. Like Latinx, which can just go away. It can just drift away. That's it. If you're a transgender and you want to be called Latinx because you haven't made up your mind yet, okay. But don't get mad at me when I miss because I'm looking at a guy and I don't know what's going on down south. I'm not supposed to know what's going on down south. I don't know what's going on with you wanting it or not wanting it. So if I say, hey, are the other Latinos, oh, please, sir, no, you allow us the mistakes. We're the majority in this situation. Allow me the goof if I don't call you Latinx because you're not sure you want your dick anymore. That's not my fault. And I'm not bowing to it anymore. Hilarious. And if a police officer walks into a room, it just became the safest space you've got. So if you want a safe space for people, have a cop in it.
That's not true. They beat and killed.
No, they don't. Knock that off, too. Well, maybe they're not. Maybe they're not all on the up and up, but the majority of them who want to go into a place called, I don't know, what was it, Karen and Tully's stupid restaurant, aren't going in there to knock black people around all day long and just leave laughing. The world isn't working that way. You don't go into the most liberal restaurant in the world as a cop and start flaming some folks. You're going to be on Instagram. You're going to lose your job and probably go to jail. They know better. Even the bad ones know not to just wander in and throw an elbow into the first black person they see in San Francisco's liberal Tully and Hattie's house.
Let's check this place out today. You know, It was their first time going in there.
Right.
And that happened.
Yeah. I can tell by the name of it. I don't like the food there. Millie and Tully's or whatever the hell it is. It's like, yuck. This is going to be cornbread and a lot of soy and
seaweed.
Yuck. Liberal food.
With all the crime happening over that way, it's like that's the place to knock over now because there's no cops going to show up.
The cops aren't allowed to be there.
I'd go knock that place over every day.
Go up to Hattie and Lester's and get yourself some of that strange soy corn and go ahead and try to maneuver around those scary police officers. You know who scares me in there? All those people who don't shower. Pigs. The whole San Francisco is unshowered. That city looks pretty from a distance, from the bridge to the bridge. Like, what a gorgeous thing. Then you get in it. What a dump.
Yeah, but at Hatfield and Tilly's, the Impossible Salami's unbelievable.
Oh, gotta love that. I can't possibly enjoy my sandwich with those armed men. They're police officers, you absolute moron. If they pull a gun on you, we'll stop it. I doubt that's going to happen.
I don't feel safe.
Well, then get your fragile ass. You don't feel safe seeing a cop. You're insane. You'll walk around the streets of San Francisco, a Quinn Martin production, and think to yourself, this is safe, but the cops aren't?
I'm thinking you're walking out of the front door of that place, and that car's flying over one of those hills.
Yeah, what a great beginning to him. That TV show was awesome, by the way. Carl Malton's big-ass nose and Michael Douglas. The streets of San Francisco. Da, da, da.
Still holds up.
Oh, yeah, it's on FETV every once in a while. I'll catch it. It's pretty solid. But, yeah, that's the safe space. The safe space is the homeless guy crapping all over your sidewalk. The cops having lunch at Tilly and Willie's.
How many lawsuits are out there that people slipping on a dump? The sidewalks.
None, because it's...
You know what? It's beautiful, really, Brady.
The dumps. Yeah. Enough with the Tilly and Millie's. You guys have no say anymore. But finally, the normal folks have stepped up and said, shut up, Tilly and Millie. And then, I think they had 1,100 one-star reviews within an hour.
Oh, man.
So it just they put it out there thinking, this is what we're doing is amazing. And then right after they realized they sway with the wind.
No.
They don't have a core belief about this woke thing because you can talk them out of it. And you know what the best thing is? You talked them out of it with capitalism. You took their money away and they freaked out.
They're trying to, I agree with you, trying to seize the opportunity.
Absolutely. Pussy.
The whole reason of putting that out there is to get more customers in that feel the same way.
Yeah. After seating them, our staff felt very uncomfortable with their multiple weapons. If you're a good restaurant, Your staff has multiple weapons. All the chefs should. They just got out of jail, and that's making a good meal. They're the best chefs. They're the hardest workers. They don't want to go back to the joint, but they will kill a bitch in the alley with their knife skills they learned in the joint. Ridiculous.
BIPOC, Tupacs.
Right. BIPOC Shakur is my favorite rapper of all time. He's black, he's indigenous, and he's a people of color, which is all of what black and indigenous is. I lose my mind over this stuff a lot because when I read the Latinx thing, I'm like, well, then, how do we stop it? Who do you talk to? Who's the inventor?
Is that the final? It's done.
It has to be. Like, if 90% of that group says no, why are we still doing it, Whitey? Why, CNN? Why? You're patting yourselves on the back for stuff no one wants. They don't care. It was never an issue. But what about inclusivity? Inclusivity with who? The 6 Mexicans that are trying to change gender? Shut up.
Whew. I'm looking at their Yelp reviews now.
They got
just
killed.
Nothing but 1 stars.
What's the place called? Hattie and Byron?
Helly and Tilly's.
Helly and Tilly.
Or Hilda and Jesse.
I know.
Sorry.
Oh, Hilda and
there
Jesse.
we go.
Same thing.
I said Hilda.
That might have been one of the texts saying
Hilton and Jesse? Hilda and Jesse.
Hilda and Jesse, yes.
Hilda and Jesse. I'll tell you right now, that menu sucks. And it's pink and it's got flowers on the top.
Let's see if I can find it.
It sucks. The food sucks. Awful.
it's probably
Oh, it's what a foo-foo joint.
Exactly. It's foo-foo and it's gross.
the menus are on hemp.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like, I love kale, but there's too much kale even for me at this place. It's just Hilda and Jesse's. Shut the up. Take your Latinx BIPOC ass and get out of here is what I'd say with that. Look at this. There's their menu. What is it? Sushi for breakfast?
Nah, I don't. It looks like
What
some
are they
kind of
serving?
bistro type thing.
Ew. Are those supposed to be pancakes?
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's the size of my thumb. Look at the size of the hand next to that meal. Unless that's a giant, their portions are too small.
What are the police doing in that restaurant?
Why are the 2 gay cops at BIPOC heaven? What is that? What are the plates?
They're
are
like on
sauced? I don't know.
saucers.
It's a hard-boiled egg and a bite of steak.
Oh, that's just a ripoff.
Yeah.
There's some avocado toast
Yeah.
on little.
Everything's coated in berry. Knew I'd hate
There's the
this
place.
place.
Oh,
I
you
knew
nailed
I'd
it.
hate this
Look
place.
at that.
Told you. It's actually nicer on the inside than I expected. I expected it to be more hipster.
More hippie.
Yeah.
What in the
Lavender
world is
lemonade.
that?
Lavender lemonade, Brady. BIPOCs love lavender lemonade. Every time I'm down there in the streets, in the avenues and the hoods, I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Holmes?" He's like, "Nothing, man. Just enjoying my lavender lemonade and my
you see the
blueberry-covered
receipt?
scone."
There it is.
Hash browns, pancakes, $54.
That's San Francisco.
Look at, that is insane. And then they charge you the taxes there too.
Yo, man, every time I have a lavender lemonade, I tip some out for my dead homies. Yo, some lavender lemonade, player. I got this up at Hildy and Hattie's. Okay.
$52.
$52 for a stack of pancakes the size of my index finger.
That's great. And what would you like?
Yeah. $54 for hash browns and lavender lemonade. Garbage, garbage, garbage. BIPOC. I hope they go out of business by Friday.
Shrimp toasty, porridge,
That sounds pretty good.
avocado toast.
What are the
cured
cops
trout.
doing there? Cops are supposed to go in there and have like a donut or a tough meal, like a taco for breakfast.
And then they take one bite of it and they get a call and they got to go running out. That's how it works in
Right.
the shows.
That's how they
never know to finish
That's
them.
brilliant. And they don't pay for their meals, which in a way is great. The cops should go in there and every time have another cop call them out and have them run off without paying.
Oh, here's people starting to post pictures now.
The Blue Lives Matter.
Oh, yeah.
They're crushing
You
this.
suck.
Be good. More of that activism on social
There you
media. Table for 3, please. It's just 3 fully decked out SWAT team guys. Table for 3, Hildy and Hattie. I don't know what. Now, watching and looking at the menu and the pictures and stuff, I realize Hildy and Hattie's might have a point. What the hell are the cops doing in here?
What is this?
Great. Oh,
What is that?
like beans inside a toast. What do they call that, Brady, when you cut the center of toast out and put food in it? You have an egg or something in there?
Yeah,
You used to have it.
my
Yeah.
aunt used to call it like Nugelius egg. That's what she called it. She'd cut up-
Nugelius?
The hell
Yeah,
is
I don't
that?
know. I think my grandfather made it up.
Yeah. BIPOC eggs. I forget what they call it when you cut a
Bird
hole.
in the nest.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. You cut a hole in the. My grandma used to do that.
Yeah.
Poor people food is what it is, and it's turned into hipster paradise. You cut a hole in toast and put an egg in the center and act like you've come up with some culinary. Oh God,
That's more
They're
like
just
it.
hung rats. Well, that website got killed.
Place has 1 star now.
And they are sobbing in their little liberal hands.
That's good.
And I'm not making fun of lefties because I'm in the middle. I'll tell you that all day long.
Right.
I'm not side. But I will say that the far, far left has lost their minds as much as the far, far right has. And this kind of BIPOC nonsense has to be ended. Has to be ended. It just caught, you know why? Because if we all, it's going to cause nothing but trouble. It put everybody in a new, there's too many categories of people to offend. The more categories you have, the more potential you have to offend everyone.
Which is the opposite of what you're trying to accomplish.
Exactly. Dividing everybody into smaller and smaller slivers and fractals of humanity, the more you're going to have butting heads. Look at religion, for God's sakes. Have we not learned a thing? They had one singular disagreement. It splits into 50 different things, and they can't get along at all. It's crazy. Look at the Middle East. They can't agree whether or not Muhammad needs to be a bloodline or an assignment. Boom! Both sides are like, well, we'll just hate each other forever then. It's nuts. BIPOC. Anything but to keep me out. You know what you're making me happy? That I'm white and I don't have to worry about anything. I'm always just that. You're not going to come up with a special category for me like Swede-poc or anything. I'm white. I'm a white guy, and there's nothing I can do about that. BIPOC. I know my friend Winston's rolling his eyes. BIPOC? Pfft. Indigenous to what? Not
BIPOC.
here.
You mean Tupac?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That's what I thought.
Tupac's the better one. What did Tupac stand for? Now, the POC part we know.
John still got better ratings than Porkopolis, signed Hilda and Jesse.
Wow. Hilda and
Knew
Jesse,
that was coming.
sons of bitches.
You could probably look that up right now.
Hey, you, Hildy and Jesse.
Brady, this is sad that you're asking him to do that. Reviews of a restaurant that doesn't live anymore. Don't do that.
It's funny that they're
No,
still up.
Brady, don't. It's because everything lives forever on the
Yeah,
internet.
it does.
There's probably still reviews of the Steph and John show. I don't look at it. Don't do it, Brett. Don't.
I got it.
All right.
4 stars.
Everybody,
You
your
got 4
assignment
stars.
today is to bring Porkopolis.
That's the highest it's
To
ever
5
been.
stars.
No, to 1.
To 1?
Yeah, there you go.
Destroy
Drill it.
Porkopolis today on the Yelp or whatever. It's Yelp reviews.
And only 516 on Hilda and Jesse's.
Well, you have 194 here for
We'll get 190. Well, they got a lot of reviews. We'll get everybody to go to Yelp and destroy Porkopolis' reputation.
Do it now.
And mainly start with, I went there and they wouldn't even let me in. The doors are chained shut. Is it because I'm black? Let's see if we can get CNN to pick up that this restaurant in Phoenix won't let any black people in. The owner flat said at the door, nobody's allowed in. I don't like blacks. And he kept it dark inside.
We don't want 2 pox,
I don't want
pox, any pox.
Hey, you bring a pock in here, I'm kicking your pock ass out. Chicken pox, I don't care what it is. They're all out.
Yeah, let's make Yelp reviews about how racist Brady's restaurant was. He called you every word in the book and then chained the door shut. And you can't even get in there for your delicious barbecue.
Oh, here's a 1 star for you, Brady.
Whoa, 1 star for Brady's restaurant. What'd it say? Oh, I hope it's racist.
Met my sweet girlfriend.
Met my sweet girlfriend tonight. Sadly, the food was awful. First time here, it will be our last. From the cockroach in the back of our chair, Brady,
Jesus.
to the food that came out uncooked. Well, that's no good. I found out after I had already taken a small bite. It was uncooked. They did take it away, but brought back the same food. Same with my bite taken out of it. Brady, what kind of operation were you running?
Not that operation.
That means my half-chewed bit of food went back into the fryer to cook and share the delicious germs with everybody else. Well, that got cooked out. Don't worry about that. That's still gross.
But I don't know what...
Super sanitary. One of us is at home upchucking, and the other 2 are just feeling gross.
Yeah.
Service wasn't any better. The waiter got, what does that say? Got a tizzy when we asked to split the checkup. Well, I used to hate that as a waiter, too. The bathroom smelled like sewage. That is true. You had a problem with that, mainly the building. It wasn't your fault.
Yeah.
We only stayed as we had all come from far away to meet in the middle.
We spent 2 hours and no drink refills. Boy, what a cheapskate.
Really bummed this place was so bad.
2 hours and no refills? What?
One of us is puking and the other 2 are nauseous. Not a good way to spend an evening. Still gave you 1 star, though. I got to tell you, that's pretty impressive.
What's on the board?
Sam N. hooked you up there.
You still hit a single, man. Nice work. It's a hit.
And then the other one really loved the raw food with the 5-star
Well,
review.
now let's not get all uppity about how crappy your restaurant was. If it was better, 5 stars would have kept you alive. Now stop it. Brady's still defensive.
Because I know.
Well, because there's a master lock on the door. It doesn't really matter how you feel about the food.
It's an Indian restaurant right now.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Rave reviews.
Brady just got upset.
Well, maybe you should check some of our 5-star reviews, you son of a bitch, and get your time machine.
Oh, they even call Brady on it, too.
What's
I
it say?
I bought a gift card for my brother, but he didn't get a chance to use it before both locations closed. Can't reach the business. Is there anyone reading these reviews who can reach out to me for a refund of the $50 I spent? I would appreciate it, Brady.
There you go. That's a review?
Yes.
You sold gift cards and then went out of business?
Rachel D. wants her gift
someone
card.
bought a gift card a year before that or
We
whatever.
need a date on that.
Well, we sold them really heavy the week
gonna
before.
say,
We
that's
know
what
we were
I'd have
shutting
done.
down. We're like, hey, great deal going on.
There's no overhead on those.
Here you go.
That's pure Joel Osteen right there. Just sell those gift cards and then shutter the place. I like that you got upset and started to point out 5-star reviews to that guy. That place is closed.
Well, maybe you should read the next one.
Brady, it's over. It's over. The fight's over.
It's not.
This is a smelling salts moment for the fighter. It's all right. You lost. You lost the fight. You had a good round or two. That's right, kid. But
Just get it down to 1 star
you
now.
gotta get it to 1 star. And I mean violent. Rapes in the bathroom. Blood on your plate. One of the proprietors tried to throw fingers in your girlfriend.
He served us what he called pork and cheese.
Yeah. We were greeted by a man named Hammy, who showed us why his nickname is Hammy. He hogged right on the table. This bulbous penis sitting on my wife's plate.
Food was greasy and table was sticky.
Brady.
That's a good table, man. I don't know what she's talking about.
Means it's well used. You never clean the grill. You clean the grill, you get all the taste from the last thing you cooked off. Same with tables, evidently. Brady's upset at your 1-star reviews.
Not mine. I didn't do them.
We'll call a meeting down there and get this straightened out.
And if you have a gift card to Porkopolis, Brady has one thing to say for you.
Go yourself. Kirby goes to private school.
Let's get a wake-up song, shall we? A good one to start off this beautiful day. 585-9800 as we 1-star review Brady's restaurant all morning. It's 98 KUPD.
The best the world has to offer in music, drama, and comedy.
KUPD.
You've been listening to Holmberg's Morning Sickness Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Eric'sFamilyBBQ.com.